Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here, time for another installment for the Mega Crab. It is May 2017, so we're into the Mega Crab. We have already done stages 1 to 10, to now we're going to be showing stages 11 to 21, and we'll do a quick sneak preview at stage 22 before we call it quits. Let's boom this beach! Alright, so let's check it out. I've luckily managed to keep these ones in replay in Dragon's game chat, so let's have a look. We got stage 11. As you can see, we got a couple of warrior vats over there. There wasn't much guarding the core down here, so we managed to take out these 2 rocket launchers and this 1 shock launcher, and then we just dropped some critters, and that is going to be a very boring episode for us to watch. But we managed to burn through the shield. I can't remember how much health was on this, but it wasn't a hell of a lot, so that's why I knew that we could probably get it down with some critters. If we weren't going to do that with our Zookas, we were probably going to have to try and sort of walk around some mines fairly dodgily, or clear a bunch of stuff. So there we go, down's coming the core. It's going to go down fairly quickly. It didn't have to hit anything other than those 3 launches, and there we go, the early medkits, and it's down. So nice work. Fairly boring. Feel free to do it any way you like, but if you got some time, that will work. And let's move on to stage 12. Did lose 13 Zookas. What I did notice from starting this, I knew that I should have loaded skanks or T-Med or hooker, as in heavies and Zookas, but I thought, nah, I feel confident with Zookas, let's just do that. But the thing is that the maps are so large and there's so many mines around that you're gonna need, it's a lot easier to just throw something that has a lot of health. So here we go, we break the medic free after clearing those mines, and then we're going to purposely hit a couple mines just so that we can use the speed serum, which I think is really cool. Doesn't last very long, so it will be a lot better with, so we'll call that a good mistake there with a gap around the machine gun. That worked out quite well. We're obviously going to have to tighten all of this stuff up when we get into the higher levels, but there we go. I'm popping out of the smoke there, get a bit burnt, but that's okay. So made quite a few mistakes, it's fine. So let's just clear out this area and hammer the core from there. Do want to get that sniper tower down. I thought the Zookas were going to target it, but we had to flare on. And there we go, the core goes down with some medkits. Remember, in these early stages of Dr. T, if you're using skanks, T-Med, hooker, or anything like that, you will have a surplus of GBE. So just make sure that you're spending it away. And it's nothing worse than getting to the end of an attack, losing a bunch of troops, and then realizing that you had like 220 GBE at the end. So you go, nice little single smoke to just distract the mortar for long enough. If they don't have long enough to target, they won't be able to get you. But once you get around these flamethrowers, you need to tighten them up, tighten those smoke gaps up. So here we go. Keeping the, because we're unboosted, we're obviously trying to keep the smokes a little bit sparing. And then we're going to come out shocking with brick, and we're just going to clear out some defenses and hit the core. So there we go. We lost 1 to the cannon there, but we got 5 medkits, so it's okay. There we go. Having a bit of fun. Some critter bats jumping out of that core. Good stuff. So what do we got next? There was 13. Let's get 14. And then we'll see if they're back into our log. So a few of these actually rolled off my game log. So let's have a look. We're just clearing some mines around that corner. Only level 13 and 14, but we don't want to hit 2 of them at the same time. And then we decided to use a little bit of this heavy vat. Let's go into 2 times. And we're just using 1 shock to get all of those 9 items. As soon as that heavy pops out, he's going to be being useful though. And there we go. And then all I was trying to do, you could sort of go between like this line here, from where the heavy is. What happened there? Let's try that again. I believe it was stage 14. Yep, that was odd. Hopefully it doesn't cut out again. Yeah, so we could take this line from the machine guns to the corner, but we decided to play it a little bit safer and go right around. The heavy is just taking some heat and taking out some defenses too. Check it out. A heavy would never be able to take on, what was that, like 3 machine guns? And then we're just going to flare up. A couple mines around. And I was planning on going a little bit further right and clearing out a little bit more efficiently, but it worked out alright. And the mortar's popping itself from behind, so you definitely want to try and shock that if you can. And there we go, core goes down, medkit's on there, so we are happy. Alright, that was, what was that? I think that was stage 14 maybe? Yep, that was stage 14. So let's check out in our log. We should be caught up. Nope. Stage 14, 15, 16. And we got 17, right, okay. So, stage 15. Let's jump in. Looking a little bit different now. We've got a heavy vat and a medic vat. We're going to be taking out the things that are going to be a bit of a threat later on. Remember, when you are doing all this BART, when you are using skanks, T-Med, all those sorts of things, you won't have enough GBE to drop all your troops. So make sure, like I completely forgot about it. And you'll see in a couple levels time when I switch it up to skank that I completely forgot that you needed that. So I've cleared the mines on the left. I used critters to let the heavy free, and then I'm sort of using him as a distraction over to the right and using those cryo bombs to slow down these defenses. And then we're moving up. Because we've got the medic there, we're not too worried about clipping this one mine because he's going to heal us up. And then we're going to come out of the smoke shocking again. Using critters we just want to clear those mines so we don't hit too many in quick succession and lose a bunch of Zookas. And then we're just free sniping from the top. Heavy still doing damage on the right hand side, all by his lonesome. What a hero. Super soldier doing pretty well over there. Got to remember the number of these. I think we're up to 16. Here we go. There we are. So we've got some rocket launchers on the left, critter vat and critter vat. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure there's nothing special about this critters in the vat, but we'll have a look once they come out. And that looks like that silhouette's going to be the same no matter what is in that vat. I remember I was trying to figure that out in the first video. There we go. Always launchers going to be out of range in theory. And we're a little bit late with the critter shock, but that's all good. And we want to keep those rocket launchers shocked. So I think I had to throw one more shock on that rear rocket launcher just to make sure. And then we're clearing these mines out on the right hand side so we can move up. So you guys, just normal critters. Sorry, critter bats in there. So they're not going to clear mines. So that's always good to remember. And then we're going to get a cheeky double smoke up in there. Maybe they do have more health. Look at how much damage he's taking. I didn't notice that when I was attacking. I'm glad I'm doing this in the replay. Because that critter had a ton more health. But they are flying, so we're not going to take any mines out, which is sort of half the benefit of having these critters. And then I had my first strikeout. I completely lost all of my Zookas. There was just over, I think it was between 1 and 2 million health on the core. So we took out the machine gun. We obviously don't want to retreat after this. We want to try and take it out in one attack so that we don't have to, so that we can keep progressing. So there we go. We use one smoke just to try and minimize our smoke usage. Man, my ears are going crazy. And then we did gap a little bit around the machine gun, which cost us a bit. We did lose the delay, apart from this rocket launcher and this shock launcher. And my idea, for some reason, was to flash kill the front rocket launcher, which I did, but I had to shock it anyway because I couldn't shock these two together. So it was always going to be 3 shocks. So if we were hitting the core to begin with, we might have got, we would have got a lot more damage. I don't know if it would have gone down though. So we managed to completely wipe out But that's okay. I mean, we live and learn. That was probably one of the examples where Zukas wasn't necessarily the best plan, but it worked out fine. And then we loaded up some skanks and we took it out. So here we go. We're just going to launch them and just sort of protect them a little bit. I found that shock launchers are just killing my will to live in the Mega Crab in the next couple of stages you'll see. Just because they seem to overlap and just consistently stop your scorchers, and then these boom cannons come into play real quick. So we're just going to keep on clearing all the way up. Don't want our troops to get too grouped up because they are going to get shocked by that shock launcher in that one spot, and I think that's what I did here. They were all like right there. That's all good. Once that shock launcher was down, we flared right up, and then the only thing in range, the scorchers aren't going to go looking for anything because everything's too far away. And down goes the core with some medkits, 5 of them. Boom! I love it. So that was stage 17, I believe. That was the first one we hadn't taken out in one. So that was our first 2-hitter. And then we've got stage 18. Did manage to take this out in one. I think did I lose some? So what I did there was a barrage. Let's start that again. Real quick, we'll go back. I just wanted to explain how I did that because it might help you. This is when I started adding in grenadiers as well. I swapped out a boat of tanks in favor of a boat of. Oh, that's in the next attack. I swapped out a boat of tanks for a boat of grenadiers so they could clear the mines that are going ahead of the troops. Right, so here we dropped a barrage on the gap between these two boom cannons, sort of at 6 and 5 o'clock of the, what do you call that thing? VAT. So this boom cannon and this boom cannon. And I did that all the way around. So between these, the 2 at 6 and 5, the 2 at 3 and 2, the 2 at 12 and 11, and the 2 at 9 and 8. And that took out most of them. And then we just had a couple of artilleries, but I didn't want to release the medic yet. So we just tried to tag everything else. And then it looked like it was only one away. So that when my scorchers were closer, we'd be able to do that. And because I threw all that GBE, I dropped my 4 scorchers, my 1 boat of tanks, and then I couldn't drop my other boats of tanks. Because I ran out of GBE. Because I'm a rookie! So definitely make sure you remember how much GBE you're going to need to drop all your troops. Because mine are just going to dribble in now. And then we can get the hero in there. And the hero doesn't cost any GBE, so just drop her as soon as you can. I had her with Critter Swarm. Didn't think that UR would be that useful, or Battle Orders, because she's jumps up a little bit too far in front. So I was just thinking that the critters moving forwards might be able to help out, at least for the tanks, even a little bit for mine clearing, any boom mines that the scorchers don't hit. And you see that my scorchers get super low on health around here. Luckily we took out those boom cannons around by the core. But we definitely want to be on the lookout, getting those shocks on the cannons. I might even throw a medkit at some stage. I think the medic is doing some good work, and the new one there, and then we just smoked the scorchers. The healthy one peeked out, but that was fine, and then we just medkitted the core. So that was a little bit of a harder level, I felt, especially with switching to and from scorchers and tanks. And then in stage 19, like I said, we brought in some greens, and they were just going to help us out with some mine clearing, help us out with being able to afford to drop everything. I learned my lesson, I just dropped everything, and then I'm going to start using my GBE. But we did get stuck under that shock launcher as well again. Didn't work out too bad because all that happened was all of our troops just grouped up nicely. So then we just fled onto that shock launcher so that we can get that popping so that we can... I didn't realize that shock launcher was going to come in from range, which is a bit of an error in judgment, but we managed to get some BART on that, and then it wasn't going to take too long for that to go down. Kept those cannons shocked that are right next to us right now, and we've already started BARTing out the boom cannon and cannon up there because we know they're definitely going to be an issue later on. Don't really want to hang around this shock launcher, the machine guns, they're just damaging our scorchers and we're not really gaining anything. So we're going to, as soon as that shock launcher goes down, I think the shock launcher already went down, so we're going to start heading up the right side. Alright, using critters to get rid of that boom mine. And we're just going to keep clearing up. A little bit afraid of this boom cannon around the back and the shock launcher, so we just got to keep our eyes open for that. This tank is consistently trying to go left, so we're sort of flaring it right. We do have a couple of hero heavies just doing the do's over there. That's all good. This one tank just really wants to be on the left hand side. really wants to be there. I think I ended up smoking it somewhere around now. Started to lose some scorchers now. I think I managed to lose one more. Wanted to flare it back. Maybe you needed to smoke here, but it ended up going down, so that's all good. And then we're just hammering down the core. I think we just had the one scorcher loss maybe, and the 2 medkits. So that's all good. Starting to burn through these levels now, quite literally. So there we go, that was stage 19, and we did only lose one scorcher. 19, are we caught up into the attack log yet? Here we go, right, so 19's down, let's go into stage 20. Oh, we lost a lot of troops. Ugh. Oh, and this is the one we didn't get down in one. So we went with the split landing. That's okay, that's all good. We're a little bit late on the shocks, meant that they got a few shots off. And this shock launcher came into play super early, because the scorchers just want to wander, and this boom cannon. They came into play super early, because I was sort of thinking that my tanks obviously would be further back, which they were, but the scorchers went up and ruined everything. As soon as we took that out, we just started to flare over to the right hand side, and this is where the overlapping shock launchers just started to ruin my life. So we got shock launcher, we just destroyed a shock launcher, another one on the left, there's another one in the middle, there's 3 around the core, so we can't BART them all out. We've got to take them out sort of one by one. That super heavy is working out pretty well. And there we go. We still got 4 scorchers at this stage. I think I might have flared my Grens too far forwards. So we've only got 1 left, which isn't really a big deal. I mean, they're not really compulsory in this troop layout. There's just so many mines around. And look at that flare. I flared right there so that these 2 shock launchers could just have their way with me. That's all that happened. And I ran out of GBE round about now. I think I finally got enough GBE to do something else at some stage. These poop critters that Sparky is pooping out are great. When you do run out of GBE, for like when your GBE gets really expensive for your critters and your shocks and your flares and everything else, then you can use that poop critter, the critter bomb, whatever it's called, critter swarm, and she'll drop a bunch more. Those poop critters are quite helpful just in distracting a little bit away from any of your troops. And you can see that our super medic's giving us a little bit of a boost, not only in health but also in speed. So I like that. I like that a lot. So this one was pretty boring. Just got tanks just hammering away, and that'll do it for this one. We actually ended up running out of time rather than health, which is okay. It's not bad. And then we had to wait for some troops to load. So, we just bartered out some imitation game. I even used some tanks, really. Okay, and then we took out stage 20. So let's have a look at that one. Man, these videos always end up super long for Mega Crab. Only doing 10 stages. Alright, let's zip on up. All we're going to do is we're just going to free snipe. We're just going to use GBE to take out those 2 shock launchers because we have a ton of GBE now. Letting Sparky take out the mines, and tanks are just going to go down goes the core. And there it goes. So we didn't wait for our scorchers to load. We didn't even bother bringing the grenadiers that had loaded. because we were in the clear with the tanks that we had. So that was all good, nice and safe. And then unfortunately we didn't have a good time on stage 21. We lost everything again. Got a little bit cocky here. Did I get a little bit cocky here? So because Speed Serum doesn't knock out those mines, I had to use a barrage, get rid of those. I wanted to take out some of these boom cannons, but I don't think we ended up getting any. Oh, just the one. Two, in fact. And then we just dropped on the beach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 boats there. So I only dropped 7 boats. I didn't have GBE to drop the last boat of tanks. And then for some reason I just never ended up dropping them at all. These shock launcher and boom cannon combo are sort of ruining my life over there, so I'm trying to move over. The shock launcher over here is getting me, and this rocket launcher is just indicating that I'm getting into the range of that shock launcher. That's pretty much what's happening. And sniper towers aren't usually an issue, but when there's this many of them, they're doing some damage. So there we go, we're just going to try and take out that rocket launcher, and we're going to try and get rid of some of these mines, because we're starting to realize that the best move on this one will be Zookas. So what we want to do is set them up as best we can, which is going to be clearing all those mines, and then credit. Sparky just likes to have a little bit of an MVP war. Is the cannon or the shock launcher MVP, or is it Sparky? And she is just taking it like a champ, just pooping critters, having an old laugh. And she goes down. Takes a knee. Obviously doesn't die because she's a hero. She's a hero. So let's check out stage 21. And this is going to be our last takedown. We'll have a quick sneak peek at 22 before we go. So we just want to take out this shock launcher because it's covering a little bit over there. Not necessarily necessary. Yep, you heard that right. I only had 6 Zookas on each boat because I'm impatient. Rocket launchers on the far side are out of range. That's good. Shock launcher comes into range right there, so we'll smoke there. Come out of the smoke shocking because we are still impatient. And then all we're using is the critters, just the distracted cannon. We're not even going to worry about shocking it or trying to remove or anything like that. And then we're going to get the medkits on the core and it's going to go down. Yeah! Alright, so let's check out stage 22. I have tried to look at the high scores. I can see in my task force I'm the only one with it. Oh, the local leaderboard is up. Okay, so in New Zealand, local leaderboard being in New Zealand, the top players are at 28, 26, and we're not going to be on the leaderboard, I don't think. Oh, we should be actually. What level did we get up to? 22? Oh, I'm not on it. That's weird. I should be at 22 at 0%. How am I not on my own local leaderboard? Why you not make sense? That's right, eh? I'm on stage 22. I haven't taken any of it out yet. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll fix that at some stage. So this is stage 22. Got quite a few mines around. Going to be pretty hard to just blast through with Zookas. We might be able to use brick to take out a few. We're not going to be able to straight smash the HQ. So we've either got to clear the shields or we've got to clear for a free snipe. This rocket launcher is going to make it have to be on the left hand side. I don't know. It's going to be pretty rough actually. Skanks and tanks are going to be a little bit rough with these cannons and boom cannons and stuff littered around the place. Not sure how we're going to tackle this one. We'll have to see it in the next video. That's going to do it for this one. Definitely give me a comment down below how you are going in the Mega Crab. If it hasn't come out yet, then just get excited and let me know how you're going to take it to begin with. This is really confusing me why I'm not on here, but I'll figure it out. There have been a lot of issues with the high leaderboards as well. So yeah, that'll do. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach. Yeah.